how to keep live music going through the pandemic, and is live streaming here to stay? These are two important questions to the music industry, and I'm here at this small community-owned music venue on Tyneside to find out a bit more. My name is Vince Taylor and I'm part of the Jazz Co-op, and I'm going to be talking to a certain number of people about their experience here and what it can tell others. So we're here outside the Globe on Newcastle Scotswood Road, immortalised in the 19th century song The Blade Races, and with me is Deborah Mill, co-chair of the Jazz Co-op, which owns and runs this community-owned venue. Hello Deborah.
Hi.
We're here to talk about the Globe's music programme, which is up and running pretty early during the first lockdown in spring 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we decided early on that the pandemic was going to last a while, and really the first thing we should do is get live streaming going, because we could see that would be something we could do throughout the pandemic and beyond. So on Friday nights we have folk and Americana, on Saturday nights rock and blues and indie gigs, and on Sunday we've now got classical gigs and jazz gigs.
That's quite a comprehensive programme.
Yes.
Good stuff. Okay, so you started with live stream gigs, but then when restrictions allowed, you had an audience in?
Yes, so soon as the regulations started coming out, we used information provided by the Music Venues Trust and Music Venues Alliance, which is really helpful, and they helped clarify what you needed to have in place to reopen a venue. So basically we were very, we stuck to those rules, but we're able to make it COVID secure, but actually a really nice intimate venue with a small number of tables so that we've got an audience.
So what has your experience taught you about having two audiences to cater for? So you've got the on-stream or the live stream audience online,
yeah,
and the audience in the venue, and you've got to get everybody feeling on board?
Yes, I think actually the primary thing we realised was that quality of the live stream is really important, and that's the sort of the equipment you're streaming with, but also the setup in the venue, and that took a while to get together, but now it's really top quality, because there's a lot of live streaming going on. A lot of it actually isn't that great in terms of the technical quality and the layout.
Yeah. And have you found that artists are keen to play?
By and large, yeah, they're really keen to play and really love playing in our venue, which we're really thrilled about.
And there seems to be interaction happening between the band and both audiences. So
yes.
They seem to be coping with that. They like the applause, but also the online chat.
I think it's really nice, and of course they're not limited to a small number of people in Newcastle. They can be all over the world, and we have had musicians playing to people all over the world, which is wonderful. You know, we've had an audience in Lebanon and Israel and India, Australia, and that kind of interconnectedness is wonderful. And I think the other thing that's really important, because we've kept the quality high, we're charging for tickets. They've been able to earn something. You know, musicians need to earn a living, and that's actually quite an important aspect of this.
So it's plugging part of that huge gap that's
absolutely,
opened up as soon as all the venues had to close.
Yeah.
Having an online audience must allow people to watch the gigs who won't have been able to anyway, for health reasons or any other reasons. Really.
I think that's a really important part of it. A lot of people feel quite isolated, you know, because of the pandemic, they can't do the things they used to do. They're reluctant to come out again, and we get regular people returning to whether it be the folk gigs or the jazz gigs, are actually all different genres, and they're clearly like meeting up with each other online and kind of enjoying the gig live and simultaneously, but from their own homes.
Okay, so thank you, Deborah Mill, co-chair of the Jazz Co-op. And I'm going to take a look behind the scenes in the venue at some of the technical challenges that had to be overcome. Thank you. Okay, so I'm here with Stephen Ferrell, who's the sound and video engineer for the Globe. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Hi. Can you show us around the setup, what you've got here?
Yeah, I mean, should we start the stage?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, so, I mean, as you can see, actually, the stage is set with just sound check for a live stream performance we're going to be doing tonight. Most of it's like what you'd expect in a gig setting. Slightly different, we have added this XY pair of mics, which just helps us capture an overall stage sound, which helps just it gives that slightly live feel to the live stream. We can also, actually, if you look over here, we have one of the cameras. We use 4 cameras all together. There's another one just behind that speaker. When we first started doing this, like the first few gigs, every gig we were adding more and more light, just because like it didn't seem to matter how much light we added, it looked really bright in the room, but it just looked really dark on camera. All those cameras are now come into this box. Originally we could only use 3 cameras and we were going straight into the computer, but even with those 3, it was really hard on the computer. It was like there's a lot of CPU. I remember actually thinking back on a couple of early gigs, I think we had cameras cut out and stuff like that, which has not been a problem. This is as well as allowing us to use a 4th camera. They all work really easily now. There's not as much CPU usage on the computer, and it's really easy to move between them just at the touch of a button. The other thing we've got is a desk. The good thing about this mixer is it's just a touch of the button takes you between the different mixers. Obviously, headphone mix for everything that's going out. The desk and the ATEM Pro Mini, which we used to handle the cameras. We've got this, it's free software, it's OBS. This kind of brings everything together and then streams it to, well, now we just stream to YouTube. When we first started, we went through a program called Caster, so you could stream to both YouTube and Facebook, but there's a lot more restrictions on streaming stuff to Facebook now. And YouTube had a slightly better quality we found anyway. So now we just do it to YouTube, although we are looking at another video streaming platform now, Vimeo, which is, it's like seen as having a better like quality. I mean, the good thing about YouTube is everybody that has a smart TV has that YouTube app there. Now, I mean, I'm not used to it myself, but I've been told Vimeo also has a smart TV app, but not as many people use it, so...
Familiarity counts.
Familiarity does.
So what was it like going from having, you had Facebook and YouTube, and then you went to YouTube only? Did that have any impact on audience numbers or anything like that?
It didn't on audience numbers. It actually had the benefit of, obviously you have the chats, only having one chat thread with it, which is we usually have somebody feeding back, or sometimes the band will have on stage an iPad with all the comments.
But keeping an eye on 2 live chats is difficult.
And I think especially a lot of people maybe put comments on Facebook, which would never really filter to the band because nobody's really watching the Facebook and putting those comments through. So it's easier for us just to have one flag the chat thread there, and it makes, I guess that just makes it easier just to keep everybody in the one chat. So
and it's a higher quality feed.
It's a higher quality feed. Vimeo should be even higher quality, so we are going to experiment with using that as well.
Okay, good. And any plans for the future for 2021? What would you? You've got quite a comprehensive setup here, haven't you? But is there anything you would add to this?
We are looking to add a DMX mixer. If you look, we have quite a lot of lights, especially at the back, which could all of the controller be controlled with a DMX mixer. At the moment, we set the lights at the start of the gig, and the lights stay like that for the performance.
And in terms of being able to operate this, you're operating a sound desk, 4 video cameras, you've got a mix coming out of the PA, you've got a mix coming out of the monitors, you've got a mix going out online. That's a lot to deal with as one person, isn't it?
Yes, but actually because of the controllers and things make it a lot easier now. The videos are just obviously a touch of a button. I can move between them. It's important, I suppose, actually to, I mean these cameras I can manipulate shots as I'm moving right next to the desk. The other 2 cameras, I can't. We kind of have to set a shot at the start, so and you can't see that
so
shot.
2 fixed ones, yeah, okay.
I can't see that shot before I go live with it, so I've got to have a good idea before the gig what that's going to show me. If I need to do anything like these 2 particularly, I can zoom in and stuff, switch between them so I can get closer shots on there. Handling the multiple mixes it can be tricky when there's a band, when there's an audience in the room, because you sort of, although you do both mixes, you've got an audience there and you're kind of naturally drawn to do that mix more. So you've got to try to do both mixes, but it's a lot more difficult when there's an audience in the room because you're thinking about the mix much more. And also you could hear that mix even if it's quite a loud band, even over the top of the headphones sometimes, which is tricky. But as if it's going out badly, people will tell you. So
the customer always knows.
The customer always knows, so they will let you know.
That's good. And what would you say? Have a few practice runs before you go live?
Yeah,
and this sort of thing?
I would definitely say if you're going to do it, try to maybe like try to do some streams without an audience first if you're thinking about doing both. Because there's a lot more you're going to have to think about on that side of things, especially if you're used to doing live stuff. So it's easier to do some without an audience, and then you're just bringing that knowledge on top of stuff with an audience that you already know how to do. So, but yeah, like I would say have some practice runs. Maybe you only want to start with a couple of cameras and then just like no audience in the room and stuff like that, so you're only thinking about what's going out. Also, you've got to, especially with stuff like OBS, because it has caught us out before, make sure you keep it up to date with any updates to send out, and definitely keep an eye on changes, any requirements YouTube changes often without notice, which can...
you don't know anything happening on the night, do you?
No,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Well, that's very good. Thank you very much, Stephen. Cheers. Hello, and I'm here with Balter, getting ready for the gig here at the Globe. Hello, good evening to everybody. Hi, all right. So, looking back then on 2020, your last public concert was in February 2020 when you released your single. How does it feel to be performing again?
Rusty.
Yeah, yeah. Rusty but nice.
It's quite nerve-wracking actually. I'm kind of glad that we're breaking it in by doing it not to an audience in real life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you can just zone out. I think it's definitely, it's just a muscle that hasn't been used for a while for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's really nice. I think it takes the pressure off a little bit when it's just a virtual audience. Yeah.
And I gather from online they're all raring to go. I've had a couple of calls already about making sure the link was right and it was working.
Just
We've got some.
You don't get hecklers, do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Oh, well, you can do, but you can ignore them.
They're called trolls.
You can't hear them.
No, we just get family commenting on it all this time.
Stuff. It's been incredibly difficult for artists to plan in 2020, and it's going to be just as difficult, I think, into the start at least of 2021. But do you have any aspirations? Maybe each of you could answer this in terms of aspirations for the... Janet, do you want to start and go along for 2021? Anything you'd like to be able to do or a bit more of?
For 2021, I think for me it's about sort of settling into having less of the pressures that we expect, like from normal life. So 2021 to me is about things might not go back to normal, probably won't. I think it's important to just find new ways to be creative and happy, mostly.
Of being self-reliant, and I mean, if you've got a laptop, then you can probably like record an EP, and I've also learnt that I'm really lazy because I didn't do that. So I'm accepting that as well.
So you're setting yourself a goal for 2021 too?
I'm not going to say that on camera, no.
Anna?
I think that's one of the hardest things is like about all of this is that like pressure on yourself, and that's the thing that I definitely miss the most, I think, and why things like this are so important and special, and that they absolutely must continue like happening. So thanks so much for like letting us come here, because it's given us the chance to like reconnect with each other and with our music. And honestly, like the last couple of weeks has been so high for me because I've had something to look forward to. So I think it's just like learning to like put things in place to look forward to and to keep us like connecting with each other musically as well, rather than going into like a self-contained hole.
Probably for a lot of people, the pandemic has definitely made people reevaluate a lot of things, probably in different aspects of life. And I think for me, definitely just like understanding that I am not the person maybe before COVID, but that's okay, and it's all right for it not to be the same, and just roll with that and see what happens. Yeah. Well, good luck with 2021. We'd love to have you back in 2021, by the way. That would be absolutely superb, and hopefully with an audience then too. I'm really looking forward to this gig, and really good luck with the performance, and hope it goes really well. Cheers. Thank you.
silver as a marker of the day. And in all my life I've never felt so young. But like the leaves turn yellow and the tide keeps on moving, I find myself loving you the same old way.
Hi, so we're here with Balter after a great gig here at the Globe in early November. We're in lockdown 2. So, what was it like?
So fun! Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. It was like being transported back in time.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
But I think I did one live stream gig, not with these girls, but like a long time ago, like April or something, and I remember hating it. I was like, not for me. And isn't it funny the way that you change and like get used to things? Because I'm like, yeah, it's just a gig. This is how we gig.
It is a different experience, isn't it? We because you've obviously you haven't got the audience there live, but there is some experience comes through of you're on the live chat, hearing how people were responding to the gig and that sort of thing. Was that how did that feel in terms of a connection with the audience?
It was quite. I thought it was quite nice actually. Just like having like kind of a bit of like background noise, if you like.
Does the setting make a difference? Because a lot of online gigs are from the kitchen, aren't they? And there's something different, I think, about being under the lights and in a formal.
Yeah,
100%. It helps you get into that kind of not formal space, but kinda like
And like the sound check.
Yeah.
You know, you I remember thinking earlier, Heather got here and she was like, right, better put my makeup on. And I was thinking, I had it in my head, I was like, we could all just come like already ready, but that's not the routine. Right?
Yeah.
You have
Oh
a
my
routine.
God, yeah.
You like you come and you're not ready. You come wearing something else. So you're carrying something. You're carrying your clothes. It'd be easier to just turn up, but that's the way we do it. We always get changed in the toilet
it's the
before.
ritual.
Yeah.
So ritual.
So how did it feel in terms of the audience reaction? Because in some ways that's a little bit delayed, and it comes through on the text, not, we were the crew here and myself were clapping. But,
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I really like it. I love reading the texts and like, because when you're actually on stage, your audience clap and stuff, but no one goes, do you know what? I really loved that song that you've just played just now, and like
You're
no
so
one
right.
goes into detail about why they love
Yeah.
it. I think it's actually really nice.
And you end up guessing as well, like when you're in a live gig with a situation with an audience that are in the room, you end up guessing.
yeah.
Of course.
And you got an encore.
We
I know.
did.
Yeah.
A
And that's something that's often
real
missing from online gigs, isn't it? That the
Yeah.
audience reaction to say, go on, give us an. In fact, they were wanting 5 encores, which I thought was slightly unfair of your audience. So.
I know, I'd be like, you'd be very disappointed.
don't
It's
have
like,
5,
does anybody know a jig and A?
That would have been it. That would have been it. Hey, well, it's been absolutely fantastic having you here to play and also to chat to. So we'll thank you very much for that, and we'll get that out to everybody. And will you come back in 2021
Yes.
and play with us?
Love to. I'd love
Excellent.
to.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Balter.
you.
Thank you so much.
So that's it from the Globe here in Newcastle. If you have any questions, contact us via the Globe website. And thank you for listening.